Okay, so today we're gonna talk about the Splunk stats command, stats being short for statistics. So what the stats command does is it takes numeric field value pairs or numeric values, and you can make statistical or do a statistical analysis on them, like averaging, counting, summing them over the series of results. So the stats command has more functions than just, doing math formulas on them. So we're going to go over some of that today. It's probably one of the most useful commands in Splunk, probably one of the most used. And so let's go over some of the basics of the stats command right now. So stats count, as you see here, is one of the most basic ones. And what stats count does, the stats is the command, count is the function. So it counts the number of events containing a unique field value pair. So it'll go over all of the, for instance, in this SPL query, it'll go over every unique value of the hostnames field, and it'll count the number of events containing each unique field value pair. So let me show you what that is really quick. So stats count by host names. So we're going to go, let me show you the data we'll be working with. Index equals servers. So basically the data, this is custom data that I made. So we got MAC address, the IP, what directory does the log come from? What was the action taken, which is a log out in this case? What's the username? What was the host name? Things of that nature. So that's the type of data we're working with in here. So if we go index equals servers, stats, count by, whenever I see this by modifier, I always think per in my mind. So by or per host names. Okay, so you see here we got 3 host names, server 1 through 3. Server 1 has 6 events, server 2 has 6 events, and server 3 has 2 events. So if we go back to this, we see this SPL query returns all events in index equals servers and counts the number of events by or per the host name. Now if we do users, we will count all the events by or per the user. So we'll replace host names with users. And here we see there are 3 events involving the user Bob Smith, 3 events involving Ed James, 5 events involving Sally Johns. But what if we do both host names and users? So it splits them up even further. So we have Bob Smith on server 1, 3 events. Sally Johns on server 1, 3 events. But notice Sally Johns is also on server 3 with 2 events. So what is Splunk doing here? It is taking each unique value for the hostname field and giving us each unique value for the users field involving the unique value of server 1. So it's splitting it up, the number of events up by or per host name, by or per user. Okay, so what do we have next? Okay, so let's go over this really quick. Count the number of logins by user. This is a little bit unique. This was a little bit counterintuitive to me until I really understood what Splunk was doing under the hood. So we want to count the number of logins per user. So this SPL query will return all events in index equals servers that contain the field value pair action equals login and count the number of events by or per each unique user. So let's go to Splunk. Index equals servers, action equals login. So what are we telling Splunk here? We're telling it, give me everything in index equals servers or give me every event in index equals servers where action is equal to login, where the field action contains the value login. And then we're running it through stats count by users. So from index equals servers, give me all events where the action field has a value of login, and then count those events per user. Okay, so we see here users and count for the column titles. User Bob Smith has 1 login. Ed James has 1 login. Jim Rayner has 1 login. And Sally Johns has 2 logins. Remember, Sally Johns had events where she was interacting with server 1 and server 3. So she has multiple login events. So remember, if you're looking for a unique field value pair, and then you want to split that up per field value pair, or per user in this case, make sure to put the desired field value pair before the pipe command in stats count. Okay, so next we have stats sum. Sums all numeric values of a field. So we're going to sum all student test scores to find a class total. So let me show you what this data is really quick. Index equals student tests. I don't think that, yep. Here we go. So we got 42 events. What this is simply information about students who took a test. So we have the IP address where the test results were input, the source, the host name of the server they were input into, the student name, the student's test score, how long they took to take the test, information like that. So that's the data we're dealing with. So we have a lot of, we have the test score field that is numeric. It's of data type integer, so we can perform statistical analysis on the test scores. So we have a total of what did I name the student name? Student. I want count, not sum. That was silly. Okay, so we have 41 students. So let's go in here. Index equals student tests, stats sum the test score. So this returns all events and adds up all the unique values of the field test score. So we'll go pipe stats sum test score. All right, so we have a total of all the students, all their test scores, all put together, 3,629 points out of 42 tests taken. Okay, so we can rename the column title. So let's look at that. This is useful when you're trying to show other people your search. So we'll maintain this. What were we going to call that? Combined class score. So see how this column title says sum test score? Well, it's not very understandable to somebody who doesn't utilize Splunk on a regular basis. So we'll rename that column title by putting in as, and then we'll put quotes because we're putting spaces in our column title name, combined class score. See how it renames this column title? from using as combined class score. So what happens if we don't put quotes around that? Splunk will throw an error. See, doesn't know how to handle that. What if we put all the words together? Splunk can handle that, but it's not really that easy to read. So we'll split these back up again. So make sure if you're using spaces in a column title, make sure to put quotes around it. So combined class score, 3629. Okay, what do I want to show you guys next? Okay, stats average. Averages all the numeric values of field X, X being the variable. So find the average of all test scores amongst the students. So we'll go stats AVG for average test score. 88.51 for the whole class. Okay, what if we want to rename it? Remember, as, we use the as keyword, class average. And now the column is renamed class average. What do we have next? Okay, stats min. Find the lowest value of field X. So we're going to find the lowest test score in the data. Min being for minimum. So stats average, or no, stats min test score. $77. So the student who scored the lowest scored a 77. We'll rename the column title as lowest score. All right, awesome. That's how you find the lowest numeric value in a field. Stats max. It's the opposite of minimum, obviously. So finds the highest value of the field X, X being the variable. So find the highest test score. So we'll get rid of min and we'll put max. Max test score 99. So nobody scored 100 out of 42 tests taken. Nobody scored 100, but probably a couple people got a 99. And then we'll rename the column title again, highest score. There you go, column title renamed. So that's a quick overview of what the stats command can do and the count function, the sum function, average function, min and max function. I'm going to probably make another video where I go into some more complex functions for the stats command. Thanks for watching.